Mi nombre es Natalia.
Hello, my name is Natalia de León Tello and Rights Without Permission, Youth at Command. We talk about sexual and reproductive health. We believe that everything is guaranteed, but with activists, we fight to really take these rights without permission. For me, it's very important to talk about with three wonderful people with me, because I would like to say that they really fight for the rights of community without asking permission. Please allow me to introduce our first guest. Gianni is currently student of medicine and leader of a community project with a commitment in rural communities. Hammer is an activist. He studies nursing and is a human rights advocate. He has a commitment with peasant women and LGBTQIA community. Arturo is also an activist and founder of the Foundation Avanza Sin Límites. He is fighting for people with disabilities. I would like to ask you today, please tell us what motivated you initially to work with communities that have been excluded. Hello. First, I feel inspired and motivated about the fact of living in a social community, to leave the lack and the need because of the passage of time that they have suffered. So this is the beginning, or my need, my interest and commitment to do something about these communities. So this is the beginning of my social project, which I use today. So every day I listen about different situations, stories, and people that I have ever seen in my life, but we really move something inside me. Why not doing something? I know that we cannot restructure the system from the base. And that is to be here and raising our voice. This is why I want to say today that we can do something about it. And when I ask for my community is to make visible our commitment. This has to be something with a label, without discrimination, and naturally a health that is accessible. Thank you, Gianni. As I live in a community which is rural, I feel identified and really have to fight. In a second step, I would like to ask you, which are the main barriers that communities face when we talk about trying to have access to the rights? Here, with the presence of Colombia, we have historical roots. For years, the countryside has been separated. They think that we have no knowledge, but the communities are far away from the main hospitals of their zones, underrating their rights. And when they can arrive, they have no knowledge without experience, and this only generates barriers, and they discriminate population. I also want to tell you that this only generates that people, the communities, and different women don't want to go back to these services because they are judged and they are stigmatized. This is a vulneration of the rights that everyone has as fundamental right. This is why, from this scenario, today as a young man in representation of all women of Colombia, I want to say that as a young people, we must work for your sexual and reproductive rights and arriving with different ideas so that your rights are not stigmatized. To finish, I would like to say that my inspiration comes from my mother. She's a peasant why admire allows, and also because the countryside should not be forgotten and deserves to be heard. Thank you very much. Well, we have talked a lot about the access of communities of peasants. Now let's change a little bit the focus with my peer Arturo. Arturo, what changes have you seen in the communities when they are able to really reach? When they raise their voice for the rights, many things happen. First, there is an activism. They are able to continue fighting for this social struggle. We are here in an affirmation called equality through action. Today, we action a different way of being in this place. We have no changes. And we want to be included. Everyone. Every person should be included. And everyone has the right to be with the different peers. So I also add to this that we can be stronger. It's important to have this in mind because I also represent the Department of Magdalena and more than 6 million people with disabilities that one day we're going to represent, to have the right of every other person in the world that has been forgotten in our country. Thank you very much, Arturo. It's really amazing everything you have said. Really, I have no words.
Todo el día de hoy en tan poco tiempo creo que hemos logrado hablar de bastantes temas sobre cómo nos afectamos a veces como comunidades que han sido marginadas y cómo vemos que este entorno importa muchísimo. Yo creo que al final del día tener y generar este tipo de discusión.
We have been able to talk about so many things today, and it's important to consider all the opportunities. Here I would like to ask the audience, please raise your hand if you have ever felt that your voice was not heard, because now I see all the hands up. So I think here that we should ask myself, what can we do together to guarantee that anyone stays behind, that all the voices are heard? This is a very important example because we are not excluded, we are all part of the solution. So thank you very much for being part of this, really.